So, hello everyone. Hey, Power Circle family. Hello, YouTube, and everyone else who's watching me on the internet. I have a few things to talk about. There's a conversation that needs to be had as I'm having more calls with clients and potential clients. There's so much fear in the air. So, I just wanted to talk to you guys about what is going on in the world. What have we seen with tariffs and pricing and layoffs and boycotts? And there's so much. And I totally get it. So we're going to get into it. So if you guys are new to me and you're new to my channel, I am Janice. I am the retail genius online. And for the past 15 years, I've helped people open beauty supply stores and make the change in this industry. I started my stores in 2010. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and what that looked like. So back in the mortgage crisis is actually when I got my start. And we ran those stores for 8 years. And then I decided to retire that business and go full force with coaching people and just helping other people open stores, because I just saw that there was a greater need for my mind and resources to help other people instead of bringing more stores of my own to the forefront. So that's what we started doing in 2017, 2016, 2017. And yeah, we've been doing the Lord's work in this industry, opening stores. And we have an amazing mission this year to open 100 Black-owned beauty supply stores this year. That was my declaration in the beginning of the year. And of course, life happens, things happen. We have a new administration, and they have literally turned the world, not just America, but the world upside down with all their initiatives. So people are really scared to make moves. And I talk to people every single day, my clients included. Like, it is a nerve-wracking time. It feels really, really risky. But I will tell you that the wealthiest people, were made during times like this. So Madam C.J. Walker, who was the first self-made Black female millionaire in the 1920s, literally became a millionaire in the recession of that time, right? There was a huge recession going back into the 1920s, and this time is no different. You ever hear the saying millionaires are made in recession? Like, that's not a quote. That's like really a mindset. It's the fact that people, when everyone is scared, there's a group of people who will decide to open and do it anyway. And very few are going to be willing to do that. So I literally had this conversation with a client the other day, and she's like, I'm scared. Like, I don't want to move forward. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, I completely understand being scared and being nervous and not wanting to take a risk. I completely understand it. And so what I'm not going to ever do is try to sell somebody on something if they're not sold themselves. You definitely have to be sold on this. And what I shared with her, just for perspective, is I opened my store during a really terrible recession, during the mortgage crisis. Like, y'all remember the mortgage crisis of 2008, right? Like, housing crash, people were losing their houses, people were losing their jobs, fear was everywhere. And I opened my first store, the first Black-owned store in my community during that recession. People thought I was crazy. My parents thought I was insane. Like, it was just the most riskiest thing to do. And I did it anyway. And I was literally the only person to even open a business in my community at that time, let alone a beauty supply store. And I was successful. Why? Because I was the only one. Because I was the only one. So everyone was coming to me. And so no matter how bad the economy, and let me tell you about people coming to me also. Let me tell you a story about how people were coming to me and they were spending their unemployment check on some hair. Okay, I had girls come and spend their unemployment check on some hair. So what I was sharing with her was, even if people do not go to the hair salon, because she's a stylist, so even if people don't go to your salon, like, they're definitely going to go to local beauty supply store to buy their stuff to be able to do their own hair and just learn how to do it. But you still have to buy the product. You still have to get it from somewhere. right? And this is literally what I saw when I had my store during that economic recession, was that Black women still spent their money on hair. And what happens when people don't feel good? They do things to make themselves to make themselves feel good. Like they focus on their looks, because when you look good, you what? You feel good, right? When you look good, you start to feel good. And this is what I know about beauty. When there's an economic downturn, people will spend more money on their stuff. So while other people are waiting for perfect conditions, where it's really, there's no such thing as a perfect condition. So like when people feel like it's a good time to open a business and everything is good, and unemployment is not too high and things seem okay, like everybody's opening a business at this point. So you're going to be opening a business at a time where competition is going to be very, very high. Do you guys understand that? If you choose to wait till you feel like things are perfect, or there's perfect conditions, or it's a perfect economy, you're going to be opening a business where everyone else is opening a business, and everyone else is opening a beauty supply store, and the competition is going to be very, very high. I've seen this, guys. I'm telling you what I actually saw with my own store. When I had my store, there was no other stores for years. And then once the other stores came, they couldn't compete with me because I had already had a very, very loyal customer base, right? So you must build a loyal customer base if you're going to be the only one doing it. So again, while everyone else was scared to open their business, scared to open their stores, and they let that fear paralyze them, you're literally going to miss the harvest. Like this is the time that, again, going back to that quote, millionaires are made in the recession. Because when people are fearful and they're scared and they're hiding their money and they're doing all these things, there's another group of people who are going to look for investments. They want to invest somewhere because they know that on the other side of it is going to be glorious. And that's exactly what I saw with my store. I got in. I mean, guys, I cannot tell you a lie. I feel like I got in at the perfect time, because 4 years later, after that mortgage crisis, there was like I want to say three other beauty supply stores that opened around me. Now, the first couple of beauty supply stores I came in, I was like nervous. I was like, oh my God, like there's a store coming. I've been the only for all these years, and now there's a store that's opening. And I remember seeing the grand opening signs and all their marketing stuff, and I was like freaking out. And then they opened, and no one shopped with them. Everyone shopped with me. So I was like, what was I really afraid of? Like I was here first. I was here first, y'all. And no one's gonna come into my neighborhood and take my customers from me. That's not happening. Right? So I had established my store first. And this is exactly what I'm like teaching my clients. Like you need to, when all these other stores are closing down and liquidating, this is the time to establish your store, because people are still going to be buying their beauty supplies from somewhere, even if they have to take go 30 miles somewhere, they're going to go and buy it from somewhere. So, people may feel like the tariffs and all of this is not a good time to open a store. And the tariffs is a good time for you when to actually get into the game, because what you can do now is you can pivot. And I've been talking about this in my trainings, that there's different opportunities. There's opportunities to start to really be intentional about getting your products locally, right? There's opportunities for you to build strategic partnerships with other brands and collaborations with indie brands. This is exactly how we actually made our real money in our stores, when we started focusing on indie brands, on exclusive brands, before they got into Target and was like extra exposed, right? We focused on indie brands, and indie brands did so well for our store, because it's the brands that the big chains don't have. We also focused on private label products, which is what all of our clients are doing right now. Like you're finding something, a product line, and you're creating your brand off of that product line. And we literally have clients who have full like DIY stations, like full DIY bars, where people are able to come in and mix and match different oils, different scrubs, and it's like a whole experience. And that is all private labeling. So with private labeling, you are able to literally charge what you want because it's your own brand, it's your own baby, right? And you're able to also source that locally. Like you don't have to go to China for these things. And the second thing I want to say with that is that the tariffs with China, there's like a 90-day pause on that. So Trump pulled back on the tariffs with China. And that was the biggest thing for us because, 90% of our products come from China. So with him putting a pause on that, like the prices haven't changed. Like nothing has taken effect, right? So if you're someone who has been thinking about this, or you're someone who thought about it in the past and now it's like, I don't know, and you're just thinking, right? Right now is the perfect time for you to gather as much information as possible on this business and really start to look at what the process entails and new strategies to actually open your beauty supply store. Millionaires are made in recessions. Scared money don't make any money. You got to strike while the iron is hot. And when I tell you this DEI shutdown has been one of the best things for us, like not shopping in Target, and Target is losing billions of dollars every single day because of this boycott, because they didn't want to support Black owned brands. We need to be able to raise our hand and offer our shelf space to these indie brands. We need to be able to raise our hands and say, you can sit at our table. You can come on over here and sit at our table and be in my store and sit proudly on my shelves. Proudly. So then that way the Black dollar can truly circulate in our community the way it's supposed to anyway. Okay? The way it's supposed to anyway. But we need more stores. I talk to the brands all the time. They said we would love to be in Black owned stores, but we need more stores for distribution. When they get into a Target, they're getting into 20, 40, 100 stores all across America. We need to be able to say, we got 100 stores across America. This is why our mission is 100 stores open this year, because we need to be able to say, you want to be in 100 stores? We got 100 stores. We got 100 Black owned stores all across America, the islands, and the Caribbean. Period. But we need to band together to be able to say something like that. And when we have that type of buying power, guys, it don't matter what tariffs they talking about. It doesn't matter, because our buying power is bigger. When you try to get a hair account or any type of distribution contract, they want $10,000 off of one store. Now, if you're one of 100 stores and you're saying, guys, we get together and our orders is now 100,000 versus 10,000, the conversation is different. The pricing is different. Everything is different when you're buying together with people, when you're buying in bulk and you're moving in numbers. When you are moving in numbers, it changes the game. This is why it's so important for us to have our own stores and for us to have our own communities and organizations with Black owned beauty supply stores. This is why it's so important, so that when a brand wants to have national recognition and they want to be in all of the stores, we got that. You don't got to go to Target now. You don't have to be in Target. We can put the order together and we can get it done. Like, period. So you don't have to be the biggest store. You don't have to have all of the major things. And sometimes you don't even have to be in a high traffic area, right? If you have solid branding. So we're going to talk a lot about branding and positioning yourself to be the go-to premium store that every Black girl wants to go to. Guys, do you have any questions? You follow me, you already know what it is. You already know we're on this as a movement. This is more than just building stores. This is an entire movement. This is like modern day civil rights things that we're doing here. So it's really, really important for us to band together and not be afraid. Not be afraid of I guess for me, it probably is kind of easy to say because I done lived through 3 different recessions. So for me, it's like, okay, this is just another one. This is just another one. I lived through the mortgage crisis in 2008. When I first opened my store, everyone thought I was crazy. Then COVID came. I was helping people open stores. Literally, people would still open stores during COVID. It was shut down. Okay, I think that was probably the worst of it that we've seen. Shut down. People had to pivot, figure out delivery, figure out curbside, and pivot. But the name of the game is pivoting. We always pivot. In 2008, we pivot. And COVID 2020, 2021, we pivot, right? And then the most recent recession, right? We continue to pivot. And now we have this administration with Trump tariffs, and inflation is still very high. Things are very high. We're still pivoting. It's about pivoting. Business is literally about pivoting, figuring out, okay, we're not going to shut down. We're not going to just not move forward. We just need to figure out what the strategy is going to be. And this is what I have been teaching you guys. What is the new strategy? What are we doing differently right now in this season? I just opened a store in Canada just 2 weeks ago. A new store was launched in Canada where they have already implemented 20% tariffs on Canada. The store was launched. We moved forward. And there was no point of conversation where we sat, when I sat with my client, I would say, well, maybe you want to pause on doing the store. Maybe you don't want to open the store. Absolutely not. Sis opened her store and she's the only one. Okay. And made money. People are going to her and supporting, and sis is making money because she's the only one. Now, 4 years from now, you are going to see more stores open because people want to feel like it's a good time to open. Things is not so crazy, not so risky. But then what? She's already there. She's already established. She already has the market share. So now you're going to try to come in and get market share, which is basically you're going to have to try to steal. You're going to have to try to steal the people away. And that's going to be hard. Because if you set up the way I tell you to set up, and you build your brand, and you build brand loyalty, and you do your community events, and you have those strong community ties, then people's not leaving they're not leaving like that. That's why you have to be the first, and you can't be scared to open your store. Okay, you have to be the first, and you cannot be scared to open a store, because we deserve to own the industry that we spend the most money in. Okay, I'm gonna end on this. We deserve to own the industry that we spend the most money in. We deserve to pass down these stores to our kids the way the Asians have done it for decades. We deserve to pass this down to our kids. Not just what we used to do and what I did and the job that I did. No, we deserve to pass this down, generational wealth legacy. So we're not here, guys, just surviving a moment, right? We are going to thrive. We are going to thrive in this industry right now. I did it. I did it in 2008 during a mortgage crisis. Again, I will say it again. It was bad. And you can too. And you can too. You just need to flip the script. You need to pivot, and you need to get in the right circles. Okay. So we are going to be talking about what it would look like if we had to increase our prices because of tariffs. And how much do you increase it by? How much do you increase it by? These are the questions that people want to do. I do 10%, 5%. What do I do? Yeah, we're going to be talking about pricing, baby. We're going to be talking about pricing. We're going to be talking about positioning. That's another thing. Because some people will have you out here saying to eat the cost. Not me. Who's eating what? No. The economy always self-corrects itself, guys. If this was happening and this is a thing, it's happening everywhere, which means everybody is literally going to have to adjust their prices some way, shape, or form. So don't think that you can sit here and eat costs as a small business. That's not how it goes down. Okay, so we are going to be talking about that. What does that look like? How do I move forward if this is the case? Okay. So I'm going to wrap this up right here, guys. So first of all, pat me on the back because I did my job, child, showing up and giving y'all the gems. Hope y'all liked it. And if you did, please like and comment the video. Okay, please show your girl some love. Give me some likes on the video. Give me some comments on the video. Give me some engagement on the video, y'all. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, guys, you know how you can DM me on Instagram, The Retail Genius, DM me on IG, the Retail Genius, and I will see you guys. Love you guys. Bye.